Live from First State Studios, good morning. I'm Oran Jackson.
And I'm Micah Frazier.
It's 7 a.m. Committing this time to today. It's 1 Peter 5. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hands, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be alert and of sober mind." First Peter 5.
This is news from the Oklahoma News Network.
So 3, bro.
All of the elections deal with school, municipal, or county bonds and proposals with no offices on any of the ballots. Check the state election board website to see if you're in a location where voting is happening. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at normal precinct locations where elections are being held. Be sure to bring an ID with you if you're a voter.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Technical difficulties. We're not getting any. The mics aren't working over the radio.
Mic check 1 2.
Yeah, I thought you had the music up so loud that we couldn't hear.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, maybe it's that. And I was like, no, that's the wrong one. Yeah, we got the ONN network playing right now, so we can hear it on everything else. So after this, we'll try it again.
You may have seen them down.
That was odd, though.
Those poor dogs spend their whole lives on a chain. I can even see dogs are natural track animals who crave and others. They want to be with you, to get and receive love, and be part of what you're doing. It's no wonder that dogs spend most of their lives chained or penned, suffer terrible loneliness, and even go a little crazy. The Centers for Disease Control report that chained dogs are nearly 3 times more likely to bite because they are so frustrated. Dogs who live outdoors get neglected. Their chains tangle, meaning they can't get out of the cold or into the shade. Their water buckets are full, and they're eaten away by flies, fleas, worms, and no one notices. They are hurt. It's a hard, sad, and unnatural life for a dog. Your dog depends on you for everything. Please open your heart and give your dog a real life as part of your family.
Despite the government shutdown, plans are still on for a nationwide No Kings protest on Saturday. Oklahoma U.S. Senator Mark Wayne Mullin tells Kennedy it's hard to...
That's odd.
The optics of the No Kings Day going to happen with an anti-Trump rally, which I'm kind of curious of what they're going to protest. Here you have a president that literally the world is praising.
Mic check 1 2. Yeah, that's what it was. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Yeah. So I moved this.
Uh-huh.
It was like laying down.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'm gonna Because yesterday I had it all the way up where it was all the way up, and it was like you can like hear like.
So I think we got it finished.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oklahoma News Network.
Live from First Day Bank Studios, good morning. I'm Oran Jackson,
And I'm Micah Frazier.
and it's 7 a.m. Committing this time to reading some scripture. Today it's 1 Peter 5. It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ,
Costumes all the way to party and celebration trends. So stay tuned. We'll get more country music coming up. And also get your request in 286-6642 and let us know what you'd like to hear. You're listening to Live on 259 with Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier here on 96.7 KBEL. We got it. What we playing today, TJ? Nothing right now thinking about Mortal Kombat. Look, Cassie. What's going on, Cassie? Good morning. How was y'all's weekend?
That's Luke Combs' Beautiful Crazy. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Tuesday morning. You're listening to Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier.
Yes, sir. And we're talking about some new trends for this Halloween season. And it seems that some of the costume trends are becoming more futuristic tech AI themes and more pop culture and nostalgia revivals. And you've noticed a lot of things, look at Taco Bell and Burger King, bringing the 2000s menu back and stuff like that. Like, that's one of the things that's really in now is that nostalgia feeling. I can't scroll on TikTok or Facebook without seeing some kind of, this 90s deal or, 2000s, how it felt back then. And it was awesome. Just to let you know, here's some more October facts. That the fall foliage peak, October is the prime month for autumn leaves. So get your cameras out, wake up early in the morning, that cool, brisk air. Go out there if that's your thing. And I think a lot of people just like enjoying that, just seeing the fall leaves, the different colors, especially regions like New England, Canada, and parts of Europe. And it's also the harvest season. It's a traditional harvest time for crops like pumpkins, apples, corn, and squash. And here's another thing I want to talk about. Last week we were talking about you can be right or you can be happy. And sometimes that's not the best, sometimes it's just not the best to be just right. So some examples of that is just like your relationships. You can correct them. You and your old ladies getting into it and stuff, or, you and your man. And maybe you let them win this one and go about your day. Maybe talk about it later, but you can be right. Or you can be happy. Let them go, because does it actually matter about the whatever you're talking about? If it doesn't,
you believe in a happy wife, happy life?
To a certain point. Now, if it's something like don't let them run over you. Yeah, but if you're talking about what actor it was that played in this movie back in the 90s, and does it matter? Watch the movie together and let it settle the debate. But, to get into a heated argument or, anything, you can be right or you can be happy. You're listening to Live on 259 in the morning, hoping that you choose happiness over being right. Here's John Party with Heartache Medication, 96.7 KBEL.
So my choices are be wrong and happy or be right and miserable.
You don't necessarily have to be wrong, but you don't have to assert that you're right. Yeah. You can let the conversation flow, and we'll get into the like a social setting. You can fact check them right there. And if it's amongst friends and stuff, whatever. But if it's just, it kind of looks bad on you if you're always that person who's like, no, this and that.
This is Oran Jackson with KBEL. Good morning.
We are doing absolutely wonderful.
So be key. Yes, man.
How's Cade doing?
Of course. Yeah, you as well. Wow.
How about after a nasty breakup, they slander your name and every person that you knew and it gets worse when you like right now, y'all are reaching that adult stage, y'all are finding y'all's own way, getting in those deep relationships and stuff. Y'all bond with people that she knows from work and stuff. So as time goes on, especially if it's like divorce or anything like that, everybody thinks the worst of you. She tells it, she's dragging your name through the mud or vice versa. And you can either try to correct everybody and tell everybody what was going on, but a lot of people are just like, I don't care. Think of me what you want. Like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're going to think of you how they want.
Yeah. So it's like you can spend your time being right and telling everybody.
Yeah.
That was Heartache Medication by John Party. And, back to what we were talking about, being right or being happy, after a long breakup or maybe a divorce or something like that, one party more than others, or, just at least one party, and maybe both, tend to, it just hits harder. Everybody that you've known throughout y'all's relationship thinks the worst of you. However it happens, whatever happened, it doesn't really matter. You could have been a good guy, but everybody around just, they're going to believe what they're going to believe. So you can be right and spend your time trying to correct everybody and what happened and what the truth is and this and that, or you can just let it go and be happy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all that matters is how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It can take a toll when everybody you see, everybody that you used to talk to at the grocery store, hey, what's going on? This and that. Everybody kind of sends you out into the abyss. You feel, what is that word? I don't know, like, I'll think of it later. You feel like everybody's just trying to stay away from you. Everybody doesn't want to deal with, whatever. And at the end of the day, if you're happy, if you're just glad to be moving on, good for you, because that can get old after a while. But you can be right and correct everybody and try to save your image and stuff, or you can just be happy and move on. You're listening to Live on 259 in the morning. Here's Marty Robbins with Big Iron on 96.7 KBEL. Hey, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Doing all right.
Okay, I'm Brian. How's it going?
Hey, all right. How are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Doing all right today?
Well, I think so.
Need a water?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
How about a cup of coffee?
Got through with one. If I found another one, I'd be in trouble. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, your wife stopped by yesterday.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, with the middle school, with the PSAs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I forgot they were coming up to record those things. I bet those kids had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Sean Douglas. Okay. Sean Douglas says, sir, I need to put my mama on your birthday list.
Nice.
Cassie said he's doing amazing. It's only been 3 weeks and he can walk with my help and his walker. just a few steps. He's doing so good. He said, Mommy, look, I can stray leg all the way out and start shaking, but it feels so good. Or straighten, okay. Straighten this leg. Yeah, I seen that picture of him standing up.
Yeah, me too.
So that's
That was
good.
cool.
Sean says they better keep their mouth shut about me because they got to remember I know their secrets too.
This guy.
This morning, one of the subjects is you can be right or you can be happy. You know, a lot of people, it seems you spend time trying to correct people and, you know, this and that, you know, whatever the setting is. And just now we were talking about like after a nasty breakup, whatever, you know, everybody's slandering, you know, she says this about you or he says this about her, you know, seems like everybody's trying to get everybody on their side. And it's like you can be right and correct everybody that, you know, tell everybody, go through the list and tell everybody what happened and what really, or you can just move on and be happy.
Hey, I emailed you those promos. Did you ever receive those?
Oh, yeah.
How'd you think of them?
I think
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
If you need, or if you want any more done, just let me know.
Okay.
I can start some more.
Okay.
Cassie, don't get them started. You haven't seen anything yet. Can you move your camera? Like kind of notch it up. Yeah, or just pull the bottom. No, just that up, or
Pull it
push.
up.
Yeah. There you go. Now
Alrighty. That's Marty Robbins' big iron on his hip. Thank you so much for tuning in this Tuesday morning. I'm Oran Jackson, hanging off Micah Frazier.
yes, sir.
And today we have a special guest, Mr. Dr. Alan Bryan. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, he's the superintendent for the Idabel High School.
So how's everything going? Phone-wise and just, I guess, morale. Like, you know, how the kids go. And I've heard a lot of good things. You know, we talked about that last month. You know, we really haven't had any stumbles or anything like that. So,
Well, I think phone-wise, everybody's getting into the groove, into the swing on the phones. Of course, in our elementary sites and at middle school, we never had phones for our students to use anyway. They had to turn those in before they got to class. High school was a little bit different.
Mhm.
But you know, I think this is a good thing when I walk on campus, particularly if I walk on campus during lunchtime at high school. It's a lot louder than what it used to be, and I think it's because the kids don't have their phones.
Yes.
Students don't have their phones. They're having to communicate with one another, and they're having a great time with some of the staff members at the high school have put out different games for the kids to be able to play, and they enjoy that. You know, cornhole. We've got a couple of cornhole boards set up at the high school, and watching the kids play cornhole, even play with some of the staff members. And so there's been a whole lot more interaction, you know, physical interaction instead of students being stuck in their devices. And so I think that's been a good thing. It's not had much issue, you know, a few things here or there, but that's probably pretty typical of most discipline type problems that you have in school anywhere.
Yeah.
More about you, like what's a day in the life of like a superintendent?
Well, it's something new every day. You know, sometimes the new things are good. Sometimes the new things that hit you are not so good, and having to deal with some of those situations. But you know, I think that's just the case of for anybody who's in a role like this. It doesn't matter if it's a school setting or a business setting. If you're the one that's supposedly leading that organization, hey, all the problems are going to eventually probably wind up with you, and so that's pretty normal. Sometimes it gets a little bit stressful, but then there are always the positives. And when I start feeling stress and thinking about, you know, is it time to retire? Is it time to do something different? I think, well, you know, the kids is what it's all about, and being able to see our kids grow and be successful when they leave here. That's what the job is about, and that's what makes it enjoyable. So as long as we continue to put the kids first in all we do and all the decisions we make, I can't go wrong.
How long have you been serving as a superintendent?
This is actually my third year to serve as superintendent.
How long? Oh,
Go ahead.
How long have you been in the school system?
So I've been with Idaville Schools for 22 years.
Mm.
I spent 6 years as the assistant superintendent, and the 9 years previous to that, I was the high school principal. So, most of the time has been in an administrative role, but always been around kids. I guess probably less so over in the central office than whenever you're officed on a campus, but still, the fun times are whenever you can get out on the campuses and see what the kids are doing.
So for 22 years, like, how have you seen Idaville Public Schools improve?
So of course, there's always been change. I think probably some of the biggest change that I've seen with Idaville Schools is the way our students get along. We have, and I don't know if I've shared this with you guys or with anybody too much, but Idaville Schools is one of the most diverse schools in Oklahoma, and really in the nation as well. When you think about diversity, we have no majority population in regard to race. It's pretty well equally divided between 3 or 4 different ethnicities or races. So there's no majority population, and so our kids, they get along great, and I think that's a good thing for them. They learn how to get along in the real world, and not be caught up in their own little silo. They are able to learn how to interact with people who may be different than them, and our kids do great. We don't have much issue. So I think part of the change that I've seen with Idaville Schools is several years ago, we did have some discipline issues. We don't much anymore. Nothing that's any more so than what any other school would be, and probably less than a lot of schools. It just doesn't occur.
That's good. What would you say is your biggest goal you would want to achieve before finally, thinking about retirement? So, what's one thing that that's one thing, if we could cross that off the list, that'd be perfect.
Well, what I would like to have is something that would be a legacy for me, is that whenever I leave, that our kids are on a plan, K through 12, as far as curriculum goes, academic wise, when they leave here, that they are suited for whatever they want to do when they leave. That they are going to perform higher academically than any other students around. That we are the premier school district in our area, the premier school district in the state. A draw for students who want to be educated in a way that whatever they choose to do when they leave, they can. The world's wide open for them, and that's what I would like to lead with, is that our kids are positioned well whenever they graduate from Idaville, that they can do whatever they choose to do, and hopefully come back to Idaville and share those talents here in our local community.
Where did you go to school at?
Well, many years ago, when I was in high schools in West Texas, a small community in West Texas by the name of Monahans, very far West Texas, about 550 miles from here. Did some college work at Texas Tech University, and say, go Raiders. Doing very well right now in football. Glad to see that. Then I did some my master's work at Southeastern and my doctoral work at Texas A&M Commerce.
Nice. What kind of student were you? Were you like an athlete, bookworm?
I played athletics. I wasn't a star athlete at all. I enjoyed it. I was a band nerd, I guess, if that's what you call them. I don't know. I love band.
Yeah.
So pretty well-rounded in activities, really. And I think that's an important thing too, that we try to teach our kids. Hey, when you come into high school, get involved in some organizations, or as many as you want to, because that's where you're gonna make your memories.
Yeah.
Again, we're in business for academics. That's why schools exist, to help our kids academically. But boy, the more we can get our kids involved in something that is, from an elective standpoint, something that they enjoy doing, that's where your memories are made. I've been out of high school for a long number of years, but I guarantee you, when I go back home for a reunion, I don't talk with my classmates, my fellow graduates, about what essay we may have written in English 3. You know, we talk about football games or what we did when we went to march in a band festival somewhere. You know, those are the things that we talk about, the memories that were made from those activities. So I just encourage all of our students, get involved, find your niche, find something that you want to do, and make friendships and make memories, because it's a very short time from the time you enter high school as a freshman until you leave as a senior.
And that's good for the kids to have that support system like that. 'Cause, you know, you remember being nervous about trying new things and stuff at that age. And as you know, the more people they have telling them, yeah, just try it.
Mhm.
Just try it. You never know what you are good at unless you try it.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. And you may try a number of things and find, hey, you know, I really don't fit there, but I really like this other activity.
Yeah.
You know, service organizations, a perfect place for students to get involved and learn service and make friendships and things in those areas as well.
That's what I try to tell my kids. You know, stuff like that. Just try it. I said, you know, my daughter was in Broken Bones band for 2 years, and I said, you know, just try it, because when you have kids, you want that story of just, you know, when they're thinking about trying band or they're thinking about trying something, you have that year, or even if you do it a year, even if you do it 2 years, you have that experience to where you can tell them, oh man, I was in band for 2 years. Yeah, it was fun. You know, this and that, and you know, whether it's basketball, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, just try everything, because everything's free now. So once you graduate, you got to pay for these experiences.
Right.
So I was like, get in everything you can, so at least you can tell your kids that, you know, yeah, I tried track for a year, you know.
You know, and where those activities fit in well with academics is they are a support for academics. You know, sometimes those activities are what keep kids involved in schools. A lot of times they're what hold kids accountable to be successful academically. Hey, if I want to participate in this extracurricular, co-curricular event, I've got to be successful academically. So I can't fall behind on my studies. If I want to go participate here, I better be making sure that I'm involved in my academic studies as well.
Yes. That's one of the better things for me. You know, it was football and just different extracurriculars. We had the native club up there in Broken Bow. You know, we used to do the Ames trips and stuff, and we'd go to Norman, and you know, we'd do all that stuff like that. It was a free trip to a college campus, you know, one of our major universities, and you had to be eligible for that. Different stuff, show time, you know, show choir and all that stuff. And all that stuff, you had to be, even in the off season, you know, you had to be eligible to go on these trips and do all this stuff. So it just helps them along. And then you also meet different people, because, you know, the football kids aren't necessarily the same kids as choir and stuff. Sometimes, you know, a few of them, but, you know, you get to meet different people from different, you know, different mindsets, different talents and stuff. So it's just good for them to get involved with
Absolutely
everything that they can.
Involvement is key. Just get involved. You find something that you want to do and enjoy doing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this season's football?
Hey, you know what? We've had a lot of change with athletics and with football, particularly this year. And anytime you have change like that, you know, it's a nervous feel, but there's also some excitement about it. You know, coaches have been very well accepted. Kids, and I love our coaching staff, our football coaching staff. I'm talking specifically about right now, since that's the season we're in. But a big change there with coaching staff. The numbers of students who we have participating in football this year, and this is, you know, 7th grade through 12th grade, the numbers are up significantly from what we've had in the past. So, you know, the relationships that the coaches build with the kids, that's been a good deal. A lot of change with even with our students who participate as athletes. You know, we had a great group of senior athletes who graduated last year. Some who were some stud players going on and playing some Division I ball. And so, anytime you have change like that, there's going to be some growing pains, and we've had some at the beginning. But you know what? We're sitting 3-3 right now, and I think a very superb chance of going into playoffs again. You know, whether we get a home playoff game again this year or not, I don't know. But I think chances are very good we're going to be in the playoffs again, and I think that says a lot for what's going on with our athletic group right now with our coaches. I appreciate it.
We got Locust Grove coming up this Friday.
Locust Grove coming up Friday here. Be home with Locust, not Friday, it's Thursday.
That's
It's
right,
like
that's right.
Thursday.
Fall break this week.
Fall break this week, but we play Locust Grove Thursday at 7:00 here. And following week, we play Eufaula here. So we've got 2 home games in a row. Only one more on the road. We'll go to Chakota after that. But and then we'll wind up at home, our last game at home against Lincoln Christian, which will be a tough ball game.
Oh yeah.
You kind of want that for the last game, though, because it gives you all these time to prep,
Yeah.
just your different experiences each game. So, that's going to be the big one. The hardest battle I feel, it's a private school, isn't it?
It is.
So
Yeah.
it kind of seems like those are kind of the better team, just harder teams to beat. So,
And we played Holland Hall our first game of district this year. And I was impressed with how our kids did. Halfway through the third quarter, we were leading Holland Hall. Now, had some problems after that and wound up getting beat. But Holland Hall is a very good school. Again, it's another a private school, and probably Lincoln Christian and Holland Hall will wind up in the number 1 and 2 spots for the district. And they're good teams. But Idabel was right there with Holland Hall up through the mid-third quarter, and we've had success. Last 2 games in a row, last 2 district games we've played, been successful, and I think we'll continue that run for the next 2 or 3 games.
it seems like they've got all, the beginning of the season is kind of trying to just smooth things out.
They can learn each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it just kind of seems like, well, they're doing, I think they've got it pretty much. So it'd be exciting to see.
And we've got cross-country track going on right now too, and they're about to go to regional competition. Got a couple of stud runners.
Awesome.
And so, athletically, it's been a change of a year, but kids are doing pretty well.
The band just got through with the OBA.
OBA, yeah, went to OBA, had a great show at OBA. Unfortunately, they didn't make the top 12 finals this year, but hey, did a great job. Still be marching halftime shows. Still have the OSSAA state competitions to still perform in a little bit later on this month. So a lot left to do with band as well.
Yeah, it's good to see the parents getting involved, and even more people getting involved with stuff like band, and just the support system for these kids. Because like I said, when my daughter was in band, I didn't realize I played football and didn't worry about the band and stuff. But after seeing the summer, getting everything ready, everything they have to do to just the football performance, getting ready for the OBA and all that stuff. It's a lot of work for these kids. So just as much work.
And they're busy. They're running up and down the road. Ag, we've got a big ag department. They're running up and down the road. Kind of interesting. We had parent-teacher conferences last night. I was over at the high school for a bit of that, and happened to walk into one of our ag classrooms toward the end of parent-teacher conference times, and our 3 ag teachers were in there, had a group of parents in there, so that they were having a meeting with their boosters who they're still trying to plan things for ag for the rest of the year. And they've been out. They've been to a lot of livestock shows. Been to Tulsa. They've done very well up there as well. So I mean, all of our kids, all the
Appreciate you coming up here. We enjoy it. We look forward to next time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Dr. Brian, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
It's good to see you again.
We'll see you guys.
Take it
next
easy.
time.
No problem. Anytime you want to come by, just let us know. I love. All right, anyway.
Fourth classroom, warrior athletes carry the tradition with pride, passion, and perseverance. Idaho Warriors scores where champions are made.
We invite you to attend the Sunday morning worship service
What am I
at
got?
Baptist Church of Idaho.
Like him.
Person, or to-
Very likable guy.
96.7 for the first word at 11 a.m. on Sundays.
I couldn't even tell you who's my superintendent.
He's a superintendent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Seniors, their students build strength through academics, character, and community. As the true home of the Warriors, they challenge each student to aim higher, to grow, lead, and succeed. With dedicated teachers, inspiring programs, and proud traditions, their schools do more than educate, they empower. Idaho Public Schools, preparing champions, shaping futures.
County National Bank.
Yeah, Cassie, don't encourage them.
Internet banking, online bill pay, comparative rates, free checking, and 3 convenient locations. McCurtain County National Bank provides results through better services, walking you a greater value for your dollar. Visit mcbank.com for more on McCurtain Financial and equal housing lender.
It's so funny.
Coming to you live.
All right, that's right. Back on line 259 with Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier here on Idabel's First 96.7 KBEL. And I just want to give a shout out to all the kids listening to us. I seen I guess it'd be my second cousin, my little cousins, over the weekend. And one of them come up to me, there's Micah. It's time for the 250. And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So shout out to the kids. Kingston was one of them, was one that I heard listen to us in the morning. So I don't know. I keep forgetting what time they get in the car and stuff. So Jasmine, Journey, Jordan, Ben, Tori, all y'all, good morning. I know I missed a couple, but I'll get y'all next time I got to start this segment. It's time for Micah's Man Up moment here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. How are you doing today, Oran Jackson?
Dude, I'm doing great.
It is a beautiful day. We talked about being right or being happy, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Little thought for your day. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Now, that's a tough one because we all love being right. It feels good. You get to prove your point, show your knowledge, maybe even score a little victory in an argument. Sometimes, though, chasing that need to be right can cost us peace, relationships, and joy. How many times have you been in a disagreement where halfway through you realize this isn't worth it? The argument stops being about what's right and starts being about winning. But happiness doesn't come from winning, it comes from understanding. When you choose peace over pride, you're not giving up, you're growing up. You're saying my connection with this person, my sense of calm, my day, all of that is worth more than proving a point. So today, the next time you feel the urge to prove you're right, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what matters more, this moment, being right, or being happy? Chances are happiness wins every time. Remember, peace isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Choose happy today. That has been your Micah's Man Up on this beautiful Tuesday. You're listening to Live on 259 in the morning, and we got another request. Toby Keith, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue here on 96.7 KBEL. Yeah, I thought that was so hilarious. Or, I thought that was awesome. She just goes, it's Micah. It's time for live on 259.
How'd you come up with that? You just
I was just in the groove, man. Like I heard that music part, and I was just like, man, we need something like capturing. Even if it's goofy, but just for that moment, if nothing else, they'll remember that.
That's unique.
Yeah, Cassie, don't encourage Sean. It'll only get worse. You have no idea.
Selby Keith, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Shout out to Dr. Alan Bryant for coming on this morning.
Yeah, I enjoy our talks. It's kind of cool.
This is a great guy.
Yeah, very likable guy. It's you. I would venture to say if you have a problem with Dr. Bryant, it's strictly on you.
Yeah.
Because he's a very peaceful guy. Like, one that I assume would try to de-escalate any problem, whatever problem you've had.
It's like he truly wants the best.
Yeah.
Out of public schools.
Yeah. For all parties. Like, let's meet a common ground. Let's figure this out. Let's not, sweep it under the rug. Let's figure out what the problem is and let's, work on it. Let's this and that. So we enjoy Dr. Bryant. He'll be back. He's every Tuesday, I believe, of the month. Second Tuesday. Sorry. Every second Tuesday of each month. Got 8 minutes before the top of the hour. Thank you for listening to Live on 259 in the morning. And here's another would you rather be right? Or you can be right or you can be happy. How about with your aging parents? Now, when you get my age, when you start getting your 30s and stuff, and you start realizing, Dad, your parents are starting to hit that phase where Dad's no longer as strong as he used to be. They can't get up and go like they used to. And the time comes where, maybe they're set in their ways regardless. They've been doing it for so long. And a lot of the things that's what you realize when you get older. When you get out on your own, start living and stuff, you do things a certain way, they do things a certain way. And just because, they do it a different way doesn't mean they're wrong, but you can either be right and correct them and, maybe start an argument, or you can just accept that moment for what it is and enjoy your time together. And that's one of the greatest things is, when you're with family and stuff, and none of this outside world matters to me. When we're at mom's, for Sunday dinner, I could care less about what's going on in the world, politics, this and that. I just want to be with my family and block everything else out. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to the fam. Happy birthday to Carla McKinney. Here is Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr. here on 96.7 KBEL. Yeah, he listens on YouTube. He goes in and out. Yeah, so don't encourage him. You should shame him at all costs. No, I'm playing. October 14th is National Dessert Day. So go out there and get you some dessert. National Real Sugar Day. Get you some dessert with real sugar. And National Be Bald and Be Free Day. So shave your head, I guess. Love some ladies, and I had love gently. You ought to hear the conversations that we have in our spare time. We're going to do it every day. Got these Halloween cupcakes now, and Kate's birthday on Thursday. Going to get a cake. Awesome.
How old is he turning?
How old is he going to be?
Let me guess. 7. I'm saying like 6 or 7. 6, 7. Family tradition. That was Hank Williams Jr.
Yes, sir. And arguing is a family tradition. That's a rite of passage. But just with anything else, me and just family members in general. We can argue about whatever,
It's all love.
but don't get in the conversation or don't argue, because we'll turn on you, and make you the point, and then we own. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, we guns blazing, just quick hits here, snapbacks like that. So, if you ain't prepared, just stay out of the way. As what was it, Tombstone? Have you watched Tombstone yet?
I have not.
You got to watch Tombstone.
All right.
There's a part where there's this guy, the Cowboys and White Earp and all them are they're fixing the duel, or they start the gunfire starts, all this stuff, and you got the guy. He's trying to stay out. He wants to be a cowboy so bad, but he doesn't want the smoke, pretty much. So he's trying to hide and all this stuff, and he pretty much like, I put my guns down, and White Earp's like, get in the fight or get out the way. That's pretty much it. So shout out to the fam. We may argue here and there, but I'll see you in Halloween. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. We're going to do it up. More random facts about the holidays and events coming up. October has a fear. The fear of October is called octophobia. It's very rare. Now, come on now. See, that's that stuff we was talking about. Come on now. You're scared of October? You just rip the month of October. It goes from September to November on your calendar. You just live in fear for a month? I'm kidding. There's probably somebody out there that really has a deal, and I'm just making fun of them. But I mean, I've never heard of that. In all my years, see, I'm old enough now. I'm saying, all my years, daylight saving time in many countries, the clocks turn back an hour at the end of October and early November. October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. So go out there and get that dog, that pooch. If you're needing a puppy or whatever, go out there and save its life, or feel bad for not doing it. No, I'm playing. No judgment. But we're going to get back to this country music. We got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up in about 19 minutes. Till then, here's Zach Top. I Never Lied.
Five years old, eh? You're getting old.
Woohoo, 7, we will take that. I dread the time change every year. I dread the spring time change.
Are we going to have a fall, or is this just going to hit winter?
I don't know. I thought fall was on its way.
This one dark is so fun. Nice. What y'all have?
Used to love it when you had no kids. Oh, yeah. Breakfast on the porch this morning. That's always good. Fried eggs, bacon, toast, and oatmeal. Nice.
Coming over tomorrow.
New restaurant in town, Cassie's. Cassie's Front Porch. Zach Top, I Never Lied. And that song. And these next Halloween musts. Not must like you musty, but a must. Many must things you must have for any Halloween party. It's brought to you by Cassie's Front Porch, where they serve eggs, bacon, toast. Shout out to Cassie, one of our listeners. Enjoying breakfast with her son on her front porch this morning. Said it was dark, but it was great. That sounds heavenly. That's one of the best times.
Hey, so what'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Let's see. Friday, watched some of the games.
How'd you feel about that Texas OU game? I shouldn't have asked that.
I liked it. It was a good game. Kind of what I felt was going to happen. I wasn't too sold on them Sooners yet. You know, they just haven't looked the part. You know, and it was their first real competition.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt Texas would, but I wasn't sure because it's Texas. They could be undefeated and OU can be winless, but it's still a rivalry. You know, it's still the game is going to be a game. I was maybe expecting some high 30s, and I think a lot of people were. You know, they were at least in the 30-point range, but you know, it was a defensive battle. But yeah, I figured Texas would. And shout out to Kelly Anderson for winning our free movie passes for strictly off the basis that we had two people say Texas was gonna win, and neither one of them were right. So we're going with the first person that commented, just because you don't have to get it right. We like people getting involved. So everybody else said OU was gonna win, so they were automatically out. So there's only two people. So shout out to Kelly Anderson. He wins the free movie passes, and we may do some more of that as time goes on. But how about some 10 things that you need to get your Halloween party set off? How about killer invitations? Digital or physical, set the tone early with spooky, clever, or themed invites. You can use apps like Canva, paperless post, or even just handwritten scrolls like an eerie old school vibe. 2, the atmosphere has got to be right. It can't be a regular party. You got to have the strobe light if you can, but let everybody know, if the medical conditions and stuff. But, you got to have some lighting and atmosphere. String lights, orange, purple, green, that'll do. LED candles and lanterns, black lights or strobe light effects. Fog machines for added drama. How about strong theme or dress code? Like you can't walk in here with your khakis and a basic t-shirt. You better come up here looking like Teen Wolf or something if you're going to be cash. But dead celebrities, witches and warlocks, classic monsters ball, dark fairy tale, just different. You gotta have something on. And themed food and drinks. You know, you got to have something. And there's many ideas on Pinterest and stuff. You got to have the food and drinks on point. A curated spooky playlist or soundtrack. Now you got to have, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yeah, you got to have that song, the Monster Mash. You got to have the Monster Mash. A photo booth or selfie station, you don't really need that. You know, everybody's got a camera phone. But if you could, you know, if you got the $2,500 to rent it, by all means. Decor goes a long way, and it goes beyond pumpkins. You need cobwebs and, you know, spider webs and skeletons and all that stuff. Games and activity. Okay, this isn't a regular party. We need ideas for games, activities, not Baba for apples. We're not trying to get gingivitis. You know, we're not trying to share all that. But, you know, just different stuff. There's plenty of things on Pinterest and now TikTok and stuff. You can get ideas from different people. Creepy details that people notice. Red light bulbs in the bathroom, a skeleton in the shower, or fake blood handprints on mirrors. Sound effects from hitting speakers like whispers or eerie music. And 10, last but not least, a planned peak moment. A group game, costume contest, surprise guest, flash mob dance, or spooky story time. It's what guests will talk about after they leave. So not only be safe, but that's some ideas you need to have for any good Halloween party coming up. You're listening to Live on 259 in the morning with Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier. We got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up in about 10 minutes. Till then, here's Joe Nichols, Sunny and 75. So I fry bacon during the week and freeze it and then just heat it up in my oven. It's really good. So every morning, I better quit. I'm not loud. Kate already trying to bark up stray dogs this morning. Everybody's going to call in. Where's Cassie's front porch at? Now, if it wasn't for this rod in his leg that grows with him, he would still have 3 more weeks in a spica cast. That kind of cast goes all around his waist. It's so amazing. That's good. Yeah, I was glad to see him standing up in that picture. I like the sound of Cassie's front porch. It's in Oak Hill. That's all I'm saying. That's even better, out in the country. Uh-oh.
Whoa, wait, man.
Let's put them on the air, see what they got.
Sunny and 75, that's Joe Nichols. Hey, I actually saw Joe Nichols Friday night.
Did you? How was
Yeah,
that?
It was Saloon. It was fantastic, dude. He was sounded so good live. Sang all the songs. He was a great guy too. I posted him on my story of the Instagram and I added him.
Huh.
And he slid up. He
Nice.
responded, yeah. I don't know if it was him or his media team, but yeah, man, he's a super cool guy. He doesn't drink anymore either.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's drinking a Celsius on stage.
Nice.
Yeah, Sony and 75 and Broken Hearts Build. That's the best.
Slapped. It just hit.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to everybody listening to Live on 259 in the morning. Beautiful Tuesday. Didn't do much. Watched the game. Hung out with a buddy come up from Texas to watch the game. He's from here, so he's still a Sooner fan and stuff. But ate a lot. Mom made Indian tacos for the game. And then after, I went over there to see my friends and stuff after the game because they were cooking also. So I was full all day Saturday. So Sunday, didn't do much, just lounged around and stuff. But all over a good weekend. Got to see a lot of people. It's pretty nice. You got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up in about 5 minutes. Till then, here's Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. He has a post-hospital appointment for the fracture at Chocolate Nation. All right. You have a great day, Cassie.
See ya. I posted that. You said we had a blast.
Oh, sweet.
It's an honor to be here, the first Jewish president of the United States. And music.
Oh.
Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen here on 96.7 KBEL. How you doing today, Oran
I'm
Jackson?
doing good. Thank you so much for asking.
Did you know, you're welcome, did you know that Turning Point USA, a conservative nonprofit founded by Charlie Kirk, announces plans to host an event called the All-American Halftime Show on February 8th, 2026. It's positioned as a counter-programming to the NFL Super Bowl halftime show headlined by Bad Bunny. Now, I'm not hating on Bad Bunny. He was funny in what was that? Happy Gilmore 2. I'm out of the. I don't know what he sings. I'm that old now to the point I don't know any new music. I listen to my 2000s, maybe 2015 and early. But you know that's more of like shock value. You know, trying to get the fans and stuff. This show will emphasize the faith, family, and freedom theme. Music genre floating around as Americana, classic rock, country, hip hop, pop, worship, and you know just that kind of family oriented. Performers haven't been announced yet. Venue broadcast, hasn't been announced yet, and they don't. Pretty much there's nothing, but it's just an idea right now. But here's the thing: why didn't anybody think about this before? Because no matter who they get for the Super Bowl, there's always going to be somebody complaining. So it seems like there's money to be made out there. If they don't want to watch this performer, give them something else to watch. That's a chance to gain the viewers right there at an all-time high when everybody in the nation is watching one game. So it seems pretty cool. If you're still complaining now that you have two options and there's always the Puppy Bowl, then, maybe it's just you. But on to more important things, the national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events for October 14th. Your national days, it's National Dessert Day. Life's short, so make it sweet. That's right. Mark your calendars, October 14th, because the National Dessert Day, the delicious food holiday, is dedicated to the grand finale of every meal, the sweet reward at the end of the day. It's also National Real Sugar Day. So go out there and get you some dessert with some real sugar. We celebrate the people who harvest sugar crops and learn about its origins. We also learn how to balance a healthy diet while enjoying food made with real sugar. And last but not least, Be Bald and Be Free Day. Toss out the old comb, say goodbye to them bad hairdos, and get ready to shine. October 14th is Be Bad, or Be Bald, sorry, you can be bad too. Be Bald and Be Free Day. It's a celebration of the sleek, the smooth, and the stylish, streamlined. This is the day to honor the beauty and baldness of the bear scalp, whether by choice or by nature or by circumstance. Today is your day, so let that dome shine today, fellas. That is all your national days. So shave your head, be bald and be free. That's not legal advice, by the way. And then go get you some dessert with some real sugar. Enjoy your day. Your notable birthdays for October 14th. William Penn, 1644, founder of Pennsylvania. Joe Start, 1842, baseball player who played a significant role in establishing rules for the Professional Baseball League. John William Kendrick, 1853, engineer who was responsible for contemporary management and the rules of the railroad. Elwood Haynes, 1857, automotive pioneer who built one of the first automobiles. Julia A. Ames. 1861, author of children's books including The Little Sister and The Cradle of the Sky. Lillian Gish, 1893, silent film actress best known for her role in Birth of a Nation. E. Cummings, 1894, famous poet whose works include I Carry Your Heart With Me and The Tulips and Chimneys. Red McKenzie, 1899, American jazz singer who played music with a comb and tissue paper. Lawrence Herkimer, 1925, inventor of the pom-pom and founder of the National Cheerleading Association. Ralph Lauren, 1939, famous fashion designer and founder of Chaps and Polo Ralph Lauren. David Ruprecht, 1948, game show host of Supermarket Sweep. See, they need to bring that game back. Give me a card. I'll get $10,000. You know, it won't even fill the cart, but I'll get $10,000 worth of groceries. Harry Anderson, 1952, actor known for his role as Judge Harry Stone on Night Court. A.J. Perrow, 1959, drummer of Twisted Sister. Isaac Mitzral, 1961, fashion designer and TV host. Natalie Maines, 1974. That's right. Last but not least, Natalie Maines, 1974, country music singer and musician of the Dixie Chicks. I'm not calling them the Chicks. I'm not doing it. They're the Dixie Chicks. Your memorable events for October 14th. 1656, the first religious persecution occurs when the General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony enacts legislation against the Quakers, a religious society of friends. 1774, representatives of 12 of the 13 colonies meet to form the First Continental Congress to begin denouncing the British Parliament in America. 1834, Henry Blair becomes the first black person to be granted a U.S. patent for a corn planter. 1862, pitcher James Creighton ruptures bladder while hitting a home run. Sadly, he died a few days later. 1865, the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes signed peace treaty, which results in both tribes being chased out of Colorado. 1884, George Eastman receives a patent for his new photographic film invention. 1908, the Chicago Cubs win the World Series against the Detroit Tigers 2-0. 1912, former President Theodore Roosevelt delivers a scheduled speech after being shot and wounded by John Fleming Scranton. 1922, the first automated telephones are installed in New York City and Pennsylvania. Also in 1922, the shoe store Tom McCann opens up in New York City. 1947, Chuck Yeager becomes the first person to exceed the speed of sound, traveling approximately 700 miles per hour. 1953, President Eisenhower makes a promise to terminate any federal worker for taking the Fifth Amendment when questioning whether they are affiliated with the Communist Party. 1958, the District of Columbia Bar Association accepts blacks as members of the bar for the first time in history. 1960, President Kennedy suggests creating the Peace Corps during the speech at the University of Michigan. 1962, the U.S. launches planes to locate missile launchers in Cuba. 1964, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. receives the Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent approach and racial equality. Also in 1964 is a big year. We got three things. Bill Mills becomes the first American to win the 10,000 meter race. And also in 1964, baseball legends Roger Mars and Mickey Mantle both hit home runs on back-to-back pitches. 1966, about 175 U.S. airplanes bombed North Vietnam to officially mark their involvement in the Vietnam War. 1968, NASA televises the first broadcast of astronauts in orbit. 1978, Rescue from Gilligan's Island premieres on TV. 1982, President Reagan proclaims the war on drugs. 2020, a New York auction house sells a copy of William Shakespeare's first folio for $9.98 million. And also, and last but not least, in 2020, scientists create the first room temperature subconductor. 10 points if you know what that is. That has been your National Days, notable birthdays, and memorable events. Stay tuned for Trading Lines coming up next. Till then, here's Kiss This by Aaron Tippin. All right, Facebook, YouTube.